let's see if we can get the hands going. Notice I have this green line directly in front of me, centered with my nose. Oh, by the way, something I neglected to say in the last little lesson on swiveling, your head has to move back and forth. Your whole body has to move back and forth. So, see, my nose is in the center. As I swivel, my head is moved off to the side. Now I'm on slightly on the right side of that green line. And as I swivel to the other side, my body passes through center. I sit back into my left leg, and now I'm on the left side of the line. Okay, so as you're doing that swiveling motion, especially once the hands get going, because you forget, see, it's not that, keeping your head in the center. See, you're missing an important part of the swiveling and body movement if you're doing that. You have to move off to the side. So there's a bit more sit back, a bit more pressure in that rear leg, see? And off to and sitting back. Before we get to the hands, just one other note. As you're trying to practice that, be careful you're not leaning back. You don't want to do that either. You want to stay, keep your lumbar tucked, or keep your hips tucked, your lumbar flat, and a little bit of extra pressure into that rear leg you'll feel when you're sitting back. Okay, so hands. The first hand movement is we're going to take our left wrist up the center, directly over that green line, see, right past my center, and then push it out to the side. It's going to be out to the corner. So if you are my north, this is my northwest corner. So from here, boom. Actually, that's incorrect. What's going to happen is this. Boom. See, it's right in front of me. The wrist is right in front of me. But because I'm turning, the hand will end up to the northwest. So if I do my swivel, see, my wrist is still in my center, but there's two centers. One is my opponent's center, which will always be north, and then there's my actual center, which is facing the corner. So that's, my wrist is going to be in my center. So, up, swivel, turn. And I'm looking right past my palm, see, right past there. That's where my head is. Actually, I'm looking forward, but that's where my head is. See, straight in front of me. See? Straight in front of me. My eyes are looking actually out to the north, out to the camera. So let's get that hand. But don't look at it. Your head's facing that way, but eyes are facing the north. Wrist up the center, over the line, and boom, right out to the northwest. Left or right hand, so you start just like you're starting your slow form, like you're starting your Yang Lu Chan form. So your palms are going to be down, qua is going to be open, hands are slightly yang. So now your right hand, as you swivel, takes off like an airplane. So you're pushing your fingers forward and up. Do it this way. Forward and up. At the end of that movement, you turn the hand over so that this little bony bit here, that very hard bone, is what's doing the work. So from here, it's and push that bone forward. I say it's a push, but it's not a push, but you feel like you're pushing it through just now. I'll explain something different in a moment. Now, when we're doing it, it looks like the arms are happening at the same time, but they're not. The pung hand, the hand, in this instance, your left hand, the one that goes out to the corner hits first, and then the other one follows directly. Okay? So in your starting position, left wrist, in this instance, left wrist comes up your center, the right hand takes out forward like an airplane, and then they flick over. And when this forward striking hand gets to its extension where it's going to hit, this meaty bit right at the base of your thumb, that muscle right there, is over your center line, over your opponent's center line, over that green line, which was my center to begin with. So it's, okay. So this hand, the left hand, is in my center, the wrist, and this bit at the base of the thumb is in the center where I began. When you do that, this right hand, which is the striking hand, the one that's doing most of the work, will be slightly forward. See? Like that, be slightly forward of your left hand. So those are the basics of doing that movement. So in our starting position, let's get a little bit of a load. So just, if I'm going to turn to my left, I want to start by just loading to my right a bit. Mostly that will ensure that this left hand does a circling motion, see? So, rather than just something like that, so just pushing it out. You want it to come in, up, circle, around. So if you start with a slight loading, a slight backward motion, that's going to give you more of a feeling of roundness, and it would actually help you overcoming inertia. It gets the body going so that, see, because that's kind of hard to do, especially when you're first learning this. You want to load the body a little bit and strike out. Now, you're going to do that 3 times. Once swinging to the left, once to the right, and then back to the left again. So from our starting position, you load the body, and 1, and then just let the arms drop. That's a hard thing to do, to just absolutely disconnect all energy from the arms. Just let them fall. I'm not pulling my arms down. I'm not hitting myself on purpose. I'm just letting the arm fall. So 1. Now I'm going to go to the right, so I start with a slight backward motion to the left. That gives me the circular motion. Remember, base of the thumb over the center. Sitting back, flexing your lumbar, see? Flattening your back. And I got a 3rd one. After the 3rd one, actually, leave the hands up, because we're going to go into something different. So, first one, bang, drop. Second one, bang, drop. 3rd one, just hold it, because we'll be doing something different in a moment. All right, what else do I want to tell you? This is a basic, it's a little bit more than basic actually, but it's pretty much a basic solo set. But there's a couple of things that are a little bit more advanced that we should be able to kind of zero in on. So there's going to be like a settling in. So after we do the strike, boom, if we just stop there like that, see, we're going to want to get a little bit of a settling back. So your hands are going to, how do I explain it? You'll go out and then settle back in a little bit. Because remember, this is going to be a violent strike. And it's going to be fast and powerful. So there's going to be a little extension of the arms that'll settle back in. And that, of course, is teaching you about Fa Jing, how to get all this power. So there's like a shake of the hands. Also, that shake of the hands, there's like a flicking motion. So let me go back to the first hand. So see, the hand kind of comes up a bit yin, and then you don't do it until you just about get there, and then flick that hand out yang. The other hand, very similar. See, the hand just comes up in a relaxed motion. Just pump it out a little bit. There is some elbow movement there. So you pump it out a bit, and then just about when you get there, when you're finishing your swivel, it flicks also, but turning the fingers sideways because this bit has to fit underneath the jaw of your attacker right up into the neck. So that's a little bit more than basic. There's quite a bit of information there. There's quite a bit to do. So from your beginning posture again, and there's a settling in, a flicking out, and then at the third time, just hold your arms there for a moment. Over the center, over my original center, see? And then your other wrist is in your actual center. So that's the basics of the first movement. We do it 3 times, left, right, left. And okay, now we're off and running.